Hi, I'm Paul Darley, and thanks for tuning into our March issue of Inside Darley. Our first attachment here today is a copy of our Darley Times. It's our spring-summer 2014 issue, and I got to tell you, it's just jam-packed with information. But on page 2, I take a moment to talk about leadership under fire, and as I think of leadership under fire and staying cool under fire, I think of Joe Cool, Montana. And back in the Super Bowl in 1989 against the Cincinnati Bengals, his team was down 3 points with just a couple of minutes to go. They're on their own 12-yard line. He comes into the huddle and he says to his team, "Hey guys, check it out. John Candy's sitting over there in the first row." And at that point, everybody in the huddle knew that they were going to win. And in fact, Joe Cool, Montana had the name the Comeback Kid. He had more fourth quarter comebacks than any other NFL football quarterback of all time. And, you know, a lot of what he did was he had an overall strategy that went into his game, but then he went and he changed his tactics. He read the situation that was going on. He modified his game plan, and he really did what's called pivoting. And today, pivoting is a business word that's being used in a lot of different scenarios. And in fact, our second attachment here is an article from Forbes magazine called 8 Ways to Pivot Your Vision. And most of what you'll find about pivoting is written about entrepreneurial companies, but it really applies to most businesses, organizations, whether you're a federal government organization or whatever, really modifying your plan. So it's doing something maybe that's different from what you originally planned, but making sure that you're staying on course with the overall vision and moving ahead and pivoting. And I'll tell you, we're fortunate to have on our board of directors Stephen Rogers. He's a professor at Harvard University. He teaches entrepreneurial studies and finance and other things. And we've actually he just put on a great 10-minute video to the United Nations under a TED program. And you could just Google Stephen Rogers pivoting, and it'll bring you right to that loop. Or if you got an email of this, we've got if you received an email of this video broadcast, we've actually got a link to that embedded down below in our original email. But Steve talks about pivoting for businesses. He also talks a lot about sunk costs and when to know to cut bait and move on. And so while, hey, Cool Joe Montana might have set that trend, and pivoting's a word that's only being used in business in maybe the last couple of years, it really you might find that it applies to your business, particularly as you've gone through some difficult times in the last couple of years, and in many cases continue to. Other items in this newsletter, on page 2, you'll see some information on our hydrant booster pump. On page 3, you'll see we've got kind of a sneak preview of other things that we'll have at our FDIC conference. But one is our ZSE, that's our ZS pump, engine driven on a 3,000 GPM rating coupled to a John Deere engine. That's pretty neat. We've also got our new diesel ultra high pressure pump shown on page 3 of the newsletter, along with an article entitled Darley with our calves around the world. And Darley certainly leads the international market in compressed air foam. We're the first company into it and continue to be the leader with over 2,000 systems out there now. On page 4, you get to see a sneak peek into our new plant out in Iowa, our assembly line for our pumps for the Marine Corps, a special on fireboat applications on page 5. And on page 6 and 7, you'll be able to see some 4th-generation Darley family members. Kyle Darley, who's in our engineering department. He's Jeff Darley's son. And my daughter, Maggie, who someday hopefully will join our business. So there's lots of other news. One other piece of information in there is our pump schools. They're always held the first full week of May and first full week of October each year. At our May school, we also have a CAFS Academy in the second half of that week. So that information and application for those schools is all attached, and we'd encourage you to send your representatives to that. So thanks for tuning into this issue of Inside Darley. If there's anything we can be doing to support you, we hope you'll reach out to us.